the pack. In the old golden black. In the old golden black.
Hi guys, welcome back. It's been a while since the last preview video, and obviously we're starting the Premier League with a big game against Arsenal. Definitely favourites with the bookies here to lose, but let's go through the game and talk a little bit about it. At the moment, Wolves, from my opinion, have had quite a good pre-season. Obviously the last game wasn't that great on Saturday, but previously the games in the USA were brilliant. Even the game against Palace, when you think about all the changes we made, and we were still in the game at points, and then you think about the RB Leipzig and you think about the West Ham game, some real great movement by the players, really attacking back four, with Yerson Mosquera jumping in as a new centre-back replacing Kilman. There's definitely a lot of positives there. Lima looked great. So yeah, the pre-season has gone really well. I've just watched the pre-match press conference with Gary O'Neill, and he's also said the same. Himself and the staff and the coaches are really happy with how it went. So firstly, let's talk about the squad. We've just had an update that all the players are going to be available. There was concerns about Cunha, but it looks like he's completely fine now and he will be in the match squad. He didn't say if he's going to be available to start, but you'd assume the way he was talking, he will be able to start if they decide to pick him. Same with Mario Lemina. There was a lot of fans concerned about him coming off and potentially holding his hamstring in the last pre-season game, but they have confirmed that he's completely fine and there's no problems, which is great because him and Gomez in midfield is just a great midfield two to have. So let's go through to the attackers. He has said that Guedes and Daniel Podence are going to be part of the squad. It looks like they're both going to be available. Podence had a bit of a problem with his leg and it looks like he's fine now. So really real positive news there. I'm going to go through what I think the lineup will be. I think because we played back four in pre-season, I think he'll probably stick with it. So I think we'll see Totti and Mosquera in the back two centre-backs. I think we're going to see Nori on the left as a left fullback, and I think we're going to see Matt Doherty on the right as a right fullback. And that's just because, if you're not aware, Semedo has had a match ban. I think it's 3 in total, so he's going to miss the first 3 games, and that's because of a red card he picked up in the last game of the season. It actually carries over, believe it or not. So I don't think we've got much choice but to play Doherty. I feel like we'll see Mario Lemina drop back a little bit and play really as a DM and really help out that back line. So almost like he's almost a part of that line to make a 5. So I think he would be dropping back and helping out. I think Gomez will be in that central position, and I think we'll play a 10. And I think that will be Cunha, and I think Cunha will be dropping back, playing almost as a cam, someone that can help there in the middle, help Gomez, and especially if Lemina's dropping back, and can also, we know what he's like, he can carry the ball up into the pitch and carry it into that attacking half of the pitch. I think we'll see Rodrigo Gomez start. I can see that happening on the left. Now, the right winger position, I'm not quite sure what we'll see there. I have been thinking potentially if Podence is fit, he may play Podence, because for me, Podence is one of our best players up front, especially on that right-hand side. Would you play him over Sarabia? I probably would. I know, speaking to Villa fans last year in the Europa Conference, he was unplayable. And the fact that he's fit and he might be able to play, we might see Podence there. Or equally, he might go for more experience and play Sarabia, with him being such a adult figure in the squad, someone that's been in the leadership meetings, so we may see him there. And of course, I think we'll see Larson up front as striker, but we're going to have a hell of a bench. We're going to have Chiquinho on the bench, you're going to have Guedes on the bench, we're going to have some of the youth players that came through that are on the bench. We're going to have Doyle on the bench. We're going to have centre-backs on the bench. So we have actually got a really strong squad, even though we do need to bring in a couple of new additions, which Gary mentioned in his presser, that he is looking for a new centre-back with experience, and the same for a winger to replace Neto, someone, again, with experience that can kind of hit the ground running and go straight in. So let's talk about Arsenal. For me, Arsenal are an unbelievable side. I think for me, I'd rather play Man City at home rather than Arsenal at home. I just think Arsenal are one of those teams over the last few years that have really made it difficult for us. They are coming off a great pre-season. I think their last game that I saw, and I think it could be their last game in general, was against Leverkusen, and they smashed them. And you think about the season they've just come off in Germany and how many games they won, and Arsenal just battered them. So it's very worrying. And to be honest, most fans you speak to don't think we'll get anything out of this game. And I personally will do my prediction in a sec, and I think the same. But I do think that any team like this that constantly attacks does leave spaces. So we can, if we are at our absolute best, we can get into the game, we can get into those spaces, and you never know, there might be a chance to nick a draw. But personally, I can't see it happening. I think they're too good. I think they've got too much depth. I think they've got too much quality. They've brought in some good players. Most of them have come off a good pre-season and a good international break. The only thing I would say is that they have a lot of international players, and some of them may be having a bit of a hangover from that. They haven't had a massive break, have they? Some of the ones that played in the Copa as well, and some of them that played in the Euros haven't had a massive break. And there's a lot of players in that Arsenal squad that played in internationals. So some of them may be a little bit tired. And I was speaking to an Arsenal fan yesterday, and they said that the first game of a season for Arsenal can always be a bit tricky. It reminded me of one, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, when they played Brentford and they lost. So let's see what happens. But I personally think that we will lose, and I think we'll get a goal, because recently we have managed to get a goal against Arsenal, yet have still got beaten in the process. I'm going to go with 3-1, and I think it will be a real eye-opener for the squad as well, just to get some of the new players that haven't played in the Premier League, and some of the players that have been away playing for different countries on loan spells, like Podence and Guedes, how difficult the actual Premier League is. But massive bonus today, everyone's fit. You never know what can happen. This is football. But I am going to move you on to Lee Judges, who's going to have his say about Arsenal, and he's going to talk a little bit about it. Can you please like the video? Can you please subscribe? And also do that with all our social media, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're on Spotify. So if you could do that, that would be great. Cheers, guys. Over to Lee. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hello, Lee Judges here. Thoughts for the Arsenal versus Wolves game, first game of the season. Obviously, first and foremost, it's good to be back. And listen, I'm going to be really honest, delighted that we were at home in the first game against Wolves. Now, Wolves, as you guys know, a bit of a turbulent summer, losing probably a couple of your better players, and obviously Neto being probably the one you'll be most disappointed about. I think maybe, like, what can I say? I think, like, if it's a good time to take on Wolves at this moment in time, first game of the season, perhaps towards the end of the transfer window, and after that, I think Wolves might be in a bit better shape than what they are now. So hopefully, from an Arsenal point of view, we can take advantage of that. I think obviously we're going to start strong favourites because we're at home. We've got a very, very good record at home over the last few years, and I think Arsenal need to get off to a good start. I do feel that we will win this game. I think the first 20-25 minutes we'll see how the game will go. If we can get an early goal, I think, you know, it could be a tough afternoon for Wolves. I'm hoping it is, but obviously you guys are not. But I think if we can get an early goal, as I said, and I think that we can come out winning for this. But overall, I think Wolves have got a very, very good manager, Gary O'Neill. So, you know, if anybody can get you through it and over this transfer window and get you going, it's definitely him. I think Wolves will be fine going into the season. And yeah, look, listen, I think Wolves, we can't give you any opportunities tomorrow. Like, you know, we've got to be really ruthless. Make sure we don't give you any, what I would say, any hope that you can get something out of the result, and try and nullify your attacks and everything like that. Start to dominate very, very quickly. So Hopefully it's an Arsenal win. Obviously you guys won't go along with my predictions, but I'm going to go for a 2 or 3-0 win for the Arsenal, and hopefully that will set a statement. I really want Arsenal to, and nothing against Wolves, but to set a statement tomorrow. Like, you know, obviously with Chelsea and Man City playing the next day, I think if Arsenal can get off to a real good flying start and just make people look, you know, Arsenal are ready. So that's my thoughts of it. Like, you know, I know you're not going to agree with me, but anyway, guys, good luck for the season. And I hope you do well, apart from, of course, tomorrow.